Good morning.
Good morning. We are on a roll lately with
Of
these
every week. I
podcasts.
know. There was a long period where we were going every other week.
I was
very
thinking that.
consistently. We're back to every
We
Monday.
are people. I hope you're keeping up because
2025, new year, new us.
new us, 57.
Can I put you on blast to start this off?
I'm scared.
You were a little bit late this morning, which is
Okay.
totally fine. I just want to talk about that because I'm late to everything. I'm late to everything in my life, and I don't know if that. I'm not going to put that on you. I don't know if you're late to things. I'm late to everything, and I don't know what to do about it.
You know my story, my origin story about when I started becoming late. In college, I went to the wrong class.
Oh, okay.
I was so early, I was in the wrong class.
Okay. So now you're scarred that if you show up early to something.
Turns out that sticks with you.
Years and years.
Well, here's what's funny. Yesterday, we took Allie to an event, and it was a cheer class at a cheer gym. And on the way there, I said, just a heads up, we're getting you there a little bit early because we have to be somewhere. And she said, well, that's good because last time when I was on time, everybody was already there stretching, warming up. And I said, well, 10 minutes early is on time.
Yeah.
And Chad Erskine about lost his mind that those words came out of my mouth.
That's funny.
Because that's not my MO.
Yeah.
I like to leave when I need to be arriving at a place.
Yeah.
You know?
It's such a weird thing. Like, I think it's, what about your parents? Were your parents timely? Or was it similar?
My mom's very timely. I will say I have memories of my dad, like us always waiting in the car for my dad. Like he gets distracted easily and will like forget things. And then he'll come to the car and be like, oh, I forgot my phone. He'll go back. So I feel like maybe, I don't know.
I'm curious if this is a nature or nurture thing.
Right.
I'm going to put Ronnie Miller on blast for a second. Sorry.
Who we adore and love.
Who we love. And I know we'll listen to this. So when growing up, I remember I'd be late to school pretty often.
Yeah.
And I would be so mad because she'd like stop for Starbucks on the way to school to get her iced vanilla latte.
Right.
And we were already running late, and that would make me more late. And not that this was an everyday thing, but I just remember that it was a thing. But now years later, I'm late to everything. And I don't know what it is. I try different things.
Right.
I try putting like buffer time in my calendar or commute time.
Right.
But I'm just late to everything, and I really want to fix that about myself.
Yeah, I do. I do worry. I don't like the fact that it feels disrespectful to other people.
Totally.
Like I do feel like if I'm late, I am taking advantage of somebody else's time. So don't like that.
And a lot of people do take it personally when you're late too.
Yeah.
Which I'm not, just so you know. If you're ever late for me,
well, and
I love it. Because I'm probably also running late.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the other thing for me is I don't manage time well.
Okay.
Like I like to push things to the edge as far as how much I can get done in that amount of time.
Totally, yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and it was not time related. It was a little bit more of like performance related. It was Armchair Expert.
Yeah.
They were interviewing Michael Keegan.
Yeah. Michael
Keegan. What's his name?
Wow,
Keegan
He has two keys in his name. I don't remember what it is.
But he was talking about performance.
Okay.
And he was like, you need to make it feel like I don't have a choice. I have to perform. Like this thing of like, not like you get to and there's time and you're preparing. It's almost this like chaotic, like get up there and do it now.
Interesting.
And like how he thrived in that environment where other people deliberate and like take time and get into these things. He was like kind of needed to be by the seat of his pants. And I felt that I connected to that in other ways of like, I kind of need it to be like, you do it now or you don't ever do it. You know, like
Keegan Michael Key. I think is his name.
That's it. So like, can I just give you a rundown of my morning today?
Yeah.
So I woke up I probably woke up at like 5:45.
Okay.
And I looked at my clock and I was like, oh, they are on their way to pickleball right now. And I am in bed. And I kind of rolled in bed for a little bit, got out probably a little bit after 6.
Okay.
And then I was sitting on the couch, coffee, devotions. Chad starts his workout. I had in my brain, I'm going to do a workout. I'm going to get the girls' lunches packed. I'm going to get them out the door. And then after they're at school, I'll come home and I'll get ready.
Okay.
And that's pretty much how it went. I will say I pushed the workout to start to like 7:15. And when I went to start it, it was like 50 minutes and I need to be out the door at 8. So there was a little touch and go. I had to skip a move or two of my workout to get it done in the time frame I had.
Okay.
And then but then there was like little things. Like then I went to go make the girls' lunch and the air fryer basket was in the was in the wash. Like I needed to clean it.
Yep.
So that took another extra few minutes.
Yeah.
Just those little things that I didn't calculate.
Yeah. I hear you. Been there.
So, anyways,
I think
this is really riveting this
issue. I think my issue the reason I think that I'm late a lot of times is that I have a really hard time when I'm in the middle of something stepping away from it. I think it's related to my OCD is like I have a really hard time not finishing something.
Okay.
So the issue that is my fault is I'll start something thinking it's going to take a certain amount of time, but then it takes longer, and I just like cannot get myself to pull away from it until it's done, and that results in me being late. The other thing, which I'm also going to blame OCD for, is I cannot like any space that I leave, I have to leave clean and tidy. Like I cannot.
I wish you lived in my house.
I cannot leave my house with anything like in its wrong place. Like there can't be anything on the counters. Dishes are in the dishwasher. Like every time I leave my house, it's in like it looks good. And I think that also resulted in me being late to a lot of things. Okay. So I'm just gonna blame my disorder.
You know what? That's a really interesting insight. There's a part of me that wishes I had that because I don't like leaving my house like that. Like today I was leaving and it didn't feel like I was leaving it in a good state.
Yeah.
But I also didn't have time, and our lives had just been a little bit hectic. It's funny too, because yesterday, Allie, we've talked about Allie and some of her tendencies. She is not great with time management. I don't think she realizes how long it takes her to do things.
Yeah.
And so yesterday she was supposed to be doing like cleaning, and she ended up getting distracted and like finished a book. Oh. And yeah.
That's a funny distraction.
And then she was like, we were on our way to youth group last night. She's like, man, I wish I had time to do laundry. I was like, you actually did have the time.
Yeah.
You just didn't do it. Laundry doesn't take you time to start and put into the, wash. Like you're not washing it for an hour with your hands.
Yeah.
You should have put it in, then gone back, started your studying, taken a break, switched it to the dryer, gone back, finished cleaning, like she had the capacity. We were home. We could have, but so those are things I think I have to work on with her.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of myself. I need to lead by example. That's what I'm saying.
Time management's tough. I think we both should have we're almost the end of Q1. We should have a Q2 resolution to be on time to things.
Like that. Well, this kind of segues into my weekend. Speaking of time, I spent a lot of time at our church this weekend. We did a parenting conference, which we had gone to last year as well. This one was a little bit different. This one was generational. So it could be like anybody in your family can come to this. So my parents actually signed us up and paid for us to go. Huh. So my parents were there, Chad and I were there, and the girls were there, and they had stuff for all of us.
So like a family conference.
Exactly. Sort of. Yeah. What did I say? It's parenting. Yeah. Family. It's definitely called family. It's called like Family Matters. And it was cute. They had all these like old sitcom, like, theme songs playing in the background of a lot of things. And one of the first sessions they talked about was where your time is where your values are.
Oh, sure.
And so, I mean, which tracks, right? Yeah. Like you very much value clean, tidy environments, and that's where your time's going. So, that was one of the first sessions we talked about was our time and our values and how we spend on those things. Yeah. So.
Was it a multi-day conference or?
It was Friday and Saturday.
Wow,
yeah.
Nice.
Saturday, like midday, we were wrapped up, but Friday night. Yeah.
Cool.
So
tell me more about it.
Okay. So Friday in general, Friday morning, I just felt like I lived at the campus. We were there. Allie won a scholarship for next year at her school.
Nice.
They have this amazing endowment foundation board that they have all these endowments for. And so there was I don't know, dozens of these scholarships that they were giving out. So we were there for a couple hours, and really, really special thing. And it was cool because she had to apply for it herself. It wasn't something like as a family where like here's our finances. It was like she wrote an essay and application for it.
So it's a financial scholarship that like reduces her tuition.
Tuition for next. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know how much yet. That's to be determined.
That's funny.
I know it was funny. We were like in the next few
$100.
weeks. I know.
Which is great, better than nothing.
I was learning about endowments. I didn't really fully understand how they work. Do you know how they work?
I mean, no.
Okay, so my understanding is it's like they give a chunk of money into this, I don't know, institution, and the interest that it earns is what they give and it continues to give back.
Gotcha. That's what I kind of thought.
Okay.
It's a big sum of money that probably gets invested into like
something.
funds or securities or whatever is like a guaranteed interest rate.
Okay, because I was going to say, what if it doesn't?
I think there are some things that have guaranteed returns. Okay. So I don't know what this is an area I actually don't know much about. I was talking to my friend Chad about this somewhat recently because I was like, I know got a lot about real estate investing. I don't know much about other types of investing. Like if you have a cash, how do you turn that cash into more cash? Like, right. I don't know exactly. Like there's a lot of different ways you can do it.
Great question. Would love to figure that out.
But there are ways. I think there's like guaranteed 7%.
Okay.
So if you have $1 million in an endowment, then I think that'd be $70,000 a year.
Yeah.
If it was a 7% interest rate.
Okay.
Is that right?
It's good math.
Yeah.
If it is.
7. That'd be 7. Yeah. Wow. I'm questioning myself, but yeah. 70,000 is 7% of $1 million. Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry. I'm good at math.
You are good. Really I'm just shaking my head because I have no idea.
No, that is correct. Yeah, that's so if you had $1 million endowment, you'd have 70,000 guaranteed income, basically.
Yeah.
That they can use for these.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is how bad I'm at with math. Continuing on my Friday, we then followed up, Chad and I, with lunch with Eric to talk about our taxes.
Nice.
And at one point, I had to figure out, like, we donated $40 a month to this thing. So I, for some reason, felt like I needed my calculator for that one. 4 times 12. Chad, fully pointed that out and made fun of me. 4 times 12, 480. Nice. 40 times 12. Not 40 times 12.
Yes, 40 times 12.
Yeah. Anyways, so we did that. It was not fun. Great time with Eric, but not fun.
Oh, the tax
figure out our tax conversation. You know. Yeah. And then that evening is when we went to the conference. So nice. We get there around 5:30. They have pizza and salad, and then they kick off. They did like an opening thing with all of the family in there, and then they had a breakout session. And Pipes went to one room. Allie went to another room. My parents went to a different room. We stayed in the main auditorium, and it was really, really sweet. They had great. I wanted to say talkers,
speakers.
I'm still recovering. They had great speakers, and one of the activities they had us do that first night is to write letters to each other.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was really sweet. I would both Chad and I crying, writing our letters to the girls. And
did you write letters to everybody?
I wrote a letter to Allie and to Piper.
Okay.
And then Chad wrote a letter to Allie, and I think he wrote another one to Piper. He spent most of the time writing to Allie, and then took one to go. So I think he wrote to Piper later.
Nice.
Pipes wrote one to Chad's mom in South Africa. Sweet. Very sweet. And then my parents wrote one to Chad and one to Piper, and Allie wrote a letter to me and Chad and to Piper. So it was really great.
Did you already give your letters?
Yes. Okay. And we Chad didn't have Allie. He wanted her to read hers in private when she had a quiet moment. Allie read mine, Piper read mine, and we in the kitchen Friday night. By the time we got home, we kind of exchanged letters and read them out loud. And it was really sweet. It was just they had the kind of encouragement to write was writing how you saw that person, what good characteristics, nice. Good qualities, and then having a moment of anything you need to apologize for.
Oh, interesting.
Saying, if there's confession or you're sorry for hurting feeling, whatever, and then a connection. So something you'd like to do with that person. So pretty.
Are you good at apologizing?
Depends who you ask. Here's the thing, Austin. I can apologize all day long, but to me, what I'm not good at is the follow-up of if you say you're sorry, my understanding is you're going to try not to do that again.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
That's where I struggle is I say sorry and then I turn around and I'm just as mean as I was. So
I am good at apologizing when I agree wholeheartedly that I did something wrong.
Yeah.
What I struggle with is apologizing when I don't think I did anything wrong.
I can totally understand that. And I feel often I am I always go back to the saying, my intention was different from my impact. Often my reactions are emotional, but I feel warranted in those emotions. I always want to justify my emotions, and I feel we should. We should feel how we want to feel.
Yeah.
But what we do with those emotions and how we react with them is not always the best in for me.
Yeah.
So I can apologize for that. But at the same time, I do find myself saying I'm allowed to get angry and I'm allowed to get sad and I'm allowed to feel these things that we tend to think are negative. However, I do need to be careful with my tone and the type of, I can be very cutting with my words. So I have to be careful with that. So yeah, that was Friday night. It was
Nice.
really, really good. I was spent by the time I got home. There's something I'm noticing about when my brain is activated for a long time. It's not even like a physical thing. Like I'm not like running around. I'm active, but it's like I'm sitting there for hours and I'm listening and I'm taking notes and I'm like really trying to pay attention. It's exhausting.
Total 100%. I'm right there with you.
I was like, am I getting old? Is this new? But I did find that very, very draining, even though I was just sitting in a pew listening. So
if our brains get tired. Like a lot of times if I'm in meetings for 5 hours in a row, I like my brain just like feels like it's fried.
Yeah.
And hopefully like usually like going on a walk, like getting like taking a break is enough, but our brains can only handle so much, I think.
Yeah. So that was my Friday.
Nice.
How about you?
My brain is feeling okay today. My body is feeling tired today. Yeah. So I had a very active weekend.
As I saw,
burned like 5,000 active calories over the last 3 days. I hit like 50,000 steps over the last 3 days.
I cannot imagine what that is like.
It was a lot. So I'll just do Friday first. Okay. So Friday was my first bike ride of 2025.
Ooh, okay.
So it was a good weekend for Ironman training and like starting to get into my rhythm of training.
Okay.
So my first bike ride was a little rusty. I was like not feeling great. My bike was feeling a little rusty, like not rusty, but like I don't know. Felt a little like, what's the synonym for rusty? A little rusty.
I feel like rusty is the perfect word for it.
Not actually rusty. There was no rust on the bike.
So it wasn't like, to me, I'm imagining
it was like feeling a little slow and just I don't know, it just wasn't feeling right. It was feeling a little off. So I rode my bike to the bike shop and dropped it off for a tune-up. So getting tuned up now.
So you don't have it back yet?
I don't have. I'll pick it up tomorrow. So the bike ride was nice, and then
how far was your bike ride?
It was not far. It was like 11 miles. So
easy.
It's. No,
I know.
I'm gonna get to the point pretty soon where I'm trying to do like 100 plus miles a week.
Wait, how a week? Okay, but in the Ironman, how many do you have to do?
112.
112 miles in one day?
In one sitting. That's after 2.4 miles.
That's only 1/3 of the
yes
activities.
So I know I'm like,
you got this.
I'm ramping up. I'm starting very slow in my training. I'm gonna ramp it up here. I actually created a decent like training plan from now until October.
Okay.
And for when I did the half Ironman, I followed like a pretty strict plan, and it felt like a difficult to sustain just with my life. And I didn't really like that plan. And as I was researching plans for this next one, I was like, I don't really want to follow something where it's like, I have to do this Monday. I have to do this Tuesday. So basically what I did is I have a note on my phone where I have a general like weekly schedule.
Okay.
So like, let's see, I think I have Mondays is my rest / pickleball day. Tuesdays I'm swimming. Wednesdays I'm running. Thursdays I'm swimming. Fridays I'm biking. Saturdays I'm running. Sundays so I'm following like a bit of a schedule.
I like it. Yeah.
But the main goal is that each month I'll have, so you'll see like March, April, May, June. These are all the longest distance goals for each month.
Oh, okay. Got it.
For March, I want to get to at least 1,000-yard swim, at least a 40-mile bike ride, and at least a 7-mile run. And then that basically increases each month as I approach October. So I'm doing a kind of a different training approach this time. But yeah, started the bike ride Friday, and then and then Brian and I went to dinner at the Rock Wood-Fired Pizza.
Yeah.
You been there?
I feel like I have a long time ago.
It's good.
It's a chain. There's one in Tacoma.
There's one in Tacoma. There's one. Yeah, it's a chain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's one in Renton. So we go maybe once every 6 weeks and usually get pizza. But every time we're there, they have like a whole other menu of like chicken sandwiches and all this other stuff. And I'm like, we were deciding what we wanted to do. I'm like, let's go there, but not get pizza. Let's get this other stuff.
Okay.
So we got a chicken sandwich. We got a burger. We got a flatbread type thing. So kind of a little mini pizza appetizer.
Yeah.
And it was delicious.
Nummy.
Yeah. So did that. And then we went home and watched Severance.
Yes.
Which, are you on Severance yet or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
So Chad leaves. So I've got him this week. And then next week he's gone on his Sand and Dunes golf trip.
Right. Okay.
So I feel like I'm going to binge while he's gone. I did, however, finish a couple seasons of some shows that were very good.
Nice.
Let me tell you.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Okay, so one was Traders.
Okay.
And I got Chad. Chad was kind of in and out of Traders with me, but he got really hooked at the very end watching. And you know the whole concept.
Yeah.
There's the Faithfuls and the Traders. The Faithfuls won.
Wow.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. And it was just so good. It was like you just didn't know up until the end. There was one girl that got recruited at the very last minute, and she was kind of infiltrating people's minds and spreading some thoughts there. And then the very last thing that they do, there's 4 people left, and if they have any doubt that somebody in that foursome is a traitor, they, instead of choosing to end the game, they can choose to banish one more person.
Wow.
And so you're and like, you've heard all the interviews, and there are multiple people that are like, I'm not now we're here.
Yeah.
Because if one traitor is in that foursome, then they get
wins.
all the money.
Yeah. Crazy.
So they are like, we have to be 100% confident that we are all faithfuls in order to want to end the game.
Wow.
And they do this very dramatic. They like throw something in the fire, and if it flames green, then that means they want to end the game. If it's red, they want to banish. And so it was all green, and so they all won.
Oh, they're all faithfuls.
Yes,
nice.
They were all faithfuls, and they all wanted to end the game. So that was really good. It was funny. We were like, I forget, we must have watched that like Chad and I Friday afternoon after lunch or something. And then later on, he was just like, I was like really happy with how Traders won. Like, it ended. It's like sticks with you. Like,
that's funny.
It's a really nice way to end the day.
Do you know what was the grand prize total?
It was only like 200,000 or something. I mean,
total?
Yes. Like,
really?
Is that right?
So they get 50,000 each?
No. Maybe they get 100,000 each. Maybe it was 4. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm making that up. I don't know. It didn't seem like it was that high.
Okay.
And because Chad and I were even saying,
are these all celebrities? Are they?
They're like C-list celebrities.
Okay. So that they do. It's not. It's not random people off the street.
They were on Survivor. Like Zac Efron's brother,
Dylan Efron.
Dylan. Yeah. I don't know what he does. If he has anything in.
I think he's like influencer.
Okay.
Surf boy. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Easy on the eyes, that Dylan. I'll tell you what, he was one of the last ones standing, and had such.
Was he in the final 4?
He was in the final 4,
nice, and
he had such good character throughout it. Like, I really actually, not just was he nice on the ice, but he also was like really good player.
Yeah.
So, gosh, it's bugging me that I don't remember how much it was.
That's okay.
Because then the other show that I finished was Alone, Australia.
Yeah.
Man, that was an emotional roller coaster.
Really?
And I feel like I've talked about my survivalist shows on this before. Yep. And I just want to warn people that there is definitely language. There's definitely some like gross moments that you're kind of like, ugh, this is a little bit hard to watch. But they won $250,000.
Okay.
And the gal who won was there for 60 days. So in 2 months, 250.
Okay.
And we were like... No.
It's interesting, yeah. Like Survivor's $1 million,
right?
And Amazing Race is $1 million. Maybe it's because they're more popular shows.
I just was like, and
the Beast Game's like $5 million, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Crazy, yeah.
Exactly.
Your Traders is $204,000 total.
It was 200.
So they each walk away with $50,000, like pre-tax. They're making like 30 grand.
No, I know.
That's not very much for these shows.
It's really not. Okay, thank you. I was like, is that right? For some reason, I thought they maybe walked away with 100 each, but that's not right. Huh. Who knows? Maybe they were paid to be on the show as well.
Oh,
I don't know how that works. Actually,
yeah.
don't know. Anyways, so really happy with how Australia Alone ended, and really pleased with the Traders.
Good. Glad to hear that. Severance, the newest episode, was contentious. A lot of people did not like it.
Okay. Interesting.
So I thought it was good. I thought it moved the storyline forward. Okay. But it's the first episode that's like
controversial.
It's just totally different than all the other episodes. Okay. So it's just like a totally different, like, I don't want to give anything. Totally different location.
Huh.
It just follows one person rather than like everybody. And it was just like it was interesting.
Okay.
But it was only also like 36 minutes or something. So it was way shorter than a normal
Interesting.
episode. And the next one's also pretty short.
And this is, okay, how many episodes in the season do you think?
There's 10 episodes. This was number 8. So there's 2 left. So the next one's the penultimate and then the finale.
And they're getting released weekly?
They're getting released
all out?
On Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So there's 2 left.
Got it. Okay. You still staying current with Paradise?
I am, yeah. Yeah. Is there one more of those? That's almost to the end, I think. Yeah. There's a lot of good TV coming out. Or we said this last time. Pretty happy with it.
So we should rename our podcast too. What have you been watching?
That was my Friday. Was The Rock and Severance and a bike ride.
Nice. So Saturday for us, we were back at the church. Started fairly early. We got there around 8:30, and we were there till like 1 or so. No, maybe till 12. And round 2, really good. I think for me, what was really interesting, some of the takeaways, one was hearing from our youth pastor of our church talking about like the students. And he said this thing about how the Gen Z, Gen Alpha group is really about justice. Like they want to feel like right and things are correct and fair. And I was like, that's so fascinating because I feel like my oldest is so like consumed with like, this is what's right and that's wrong. And this is and it's like, I don't remember feeling such conviction when I was younger. And there's times where like, she will be like, no, this is da-da-da. And you're kind of like, okay, calm down. But to hear somebody else say like, that's actually culturally common.
Wow.
I was like, fascinating. The other thing he said, which was so Piper, was one of the number one jobs that this generation wants to have is influencing. And I really struggle with that. I feel like, I don't struggle with that. I should correct that. I like the idea of somebody being a positive influence. What I struggle with is currently the way it's playing out is Piper makes these mock videos of get ready with me and these other things. And it's all like, look at me. And I'm just like, I can't imagine that for a 10-year-old's heart and soul and mind, that those are good things to just be all attention on me all the time. I don't know. There's just something in that I just feel isn't my favorite. But creating and coming up with things, the other thing she does is she like makes these videos and she creates crafts and she, puts together these clips and she uses CapCut and she edits them and she puts slideshows together. And I'm like, that I love when you're being creative and you're editing and you're, doing a whole process and you come up with like a end result. But it's just when it's constantly, and she's videoing herself all the time and it's like, nobody's watching this. Like, I don't know why we're doing this. So anyways, but I did think it was fascinating that they talked about those being a thing culturally. And it just kind of was like, okay.
So that's the number one like career aspiration?
I don't know if it's number one, but he said it's up there.
Wow.
So I just thought, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. It's interesting because that's one of those things where it's like there's only like, well, I don't know, similar to like going to Hollywood. Like there's there's so many people that want want to be successful in that, but to actually make a living off of that, like there's people that do it.
Yeah.
Same with video games. Like there's people that love video games.
Yep.
Or if there's sports, you can be really good at sports. Maybe like there's just these certain fields or industries where it's like so many people want to do it. Like so many kids want to play professional baseball or football, or be in the Olympics, but there's only so many actual like possible slots of success. So, and there's being an influencer because it feels like one of those, just like making in Hollywood, just like being in the major league.
Totally.
Like it's one of those things that a lot of people want, but it's hard to achieve it. That's not saying you shouldn't shoot for it if that's what you want to do. But,
no, it's true. So yeah, the rest of that day was good. We kind of did like a little bit of introspective, like core values as a family is one of the activities they had do. It was good. And then we wrapped up around lunchtime. We went to El Toro with my parents afterwards. Really good chips and salsa. I had Moctezuma's with Eric on Friday, El Toro on Saturday. So it's big, Mexican cuisine for me this weekend. I'm still doing my intermittent fasting and I've pretty much done like some sort of workout every day.
Nice.
Maybe not Saturday. Saturday I might have skipped, but yesterday So then Saturday after lunch went home, we just chilled. Again, brain needed to like unplug for a bit. And really didn't do much the rest of that day. Chad went over to Peter's house of Shannon and Peter. And I guess Peter got a new like golf simulator thing. So they were playing that.
That's cool.
And I stayed home. Chad took Piper and I stayed home with Allie and she and I did like a little girls' night. We watched this show called School Spirits, which is kind of fun. And we did like face masks and we had spaghetti and just had some time together. And then Chad came home and brought Peter's daughter, May, and May and Pipes had a little sleepover.
Nice.
By the time they got home, I was like, you guys, I am piecing out of here. But so that rest of the day was just kind of chill, and then just kind of cozy evening in, and I think that was mostly my Saturday.
Nice. Love it. We had a chill morning, woke up and hung out on the couch for a little while.
Did your New York Times games?
Did all the things. Yep. That's our little weekend activity. Went to the gym. I did a little, I made up a little HIIT workout.
Oh, nice.
I did 10 rounds of 10 push-ups and 10 sit-ups and 10 snatches.
Wow.
So it was like 100 of each thing.
Okay.
And then I timed each minute. I was basically every 2 minutes I would start a new round. So it took me it was like 20 minutes total to do the 10 rounds. So that was Saturday morning.
That's amazing.
And then did a showing with a client.
Nice.
Really cute house.
Yeah.
They are interested in it, but I called the listing agent this morning and it's going to go for 100,000 probably over list price.
Is that where we are?
That's where we're at. At least in West Seattle.
Do you feel like they listed low, or do you feel like
I think they might have listed a little bit low.
Okay.
I was chatting with her this morning. I was like, I was looking at comps and there's one that's very similar for 710.
Yeah.
And that's what they listed out.
Right.
710. I'm like, I get why you listed 710. But then there's another one that just sold for 760 that's like in worse condition than this one. So I'm like, do you think it's going to go up to 800? And she's like, there's a good chance. And so my clients are out at that. It doesn't, if that would feel like overpaying.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
And they feel the same. And this one's about a mile away from my last offer I submitted, also in West Seattle for a different client.
Okay.
That also went for like $100,000 over. So that West Seattle market, like the 600 to 800 price point, I think there's a lot of buyers looking.
Okay.
Right now. So,
you heard it here.
Yeah.
You're looking to sell West Seattle.
Seriously. So did that showing. It's always a little intimidating when buyers' parents are at the house.
Oh yeah.
It was totally fine, no issue at
Sure.
all. But it's just like there's just like an extra layer of pressure because you're like, it feels like they're judging you to make sure their child went with the right choice.
Yep.
And there's like a little bit of that.
Yes.
That is like, I don't even actually think it was happening, but I was just like feeling it in my head.
Yeah.
But it was good. And then Brian he was hanging out with a friend that night, so I kind of had the day and night to myself.
Okay.
And I had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I reached out to a couple friends. Everybody was busy. So I'm like, what do I want to do right now? So I really want to play pickleball.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere to play pickleball up in my area.
Okay.
So I drove down to Tacoma. I drove to the drop.
Yes.
And I played 3 hours of pickleball.
Okay.
Played from like 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Oh.
Very fun. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's my new favorite hobby for sure.
Absolutely amazing.
It was cool. So there's the way that like the schedule works is there's like open play where you basically can drop in and it's kind of like a round robin type thing.
Okay. You're just playing strangers.
Yep.
Like,
and
doesn't matter.
That's how it is a lot of throughout the week.
Okay.
Normally it's like on the schedule it'll say like beginner or intermediate or advanced.
Right.
You go to a time slot that kind of matches your skill level.
Yeah.
This one was just like open play all levels. So it was cool being able to play with like all levels, like people that are newer and then a few people that were like incredible. Like so good.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned a lot just playing with them.
Of the three, beginner, intermediate, advanced, where do you find yourself?
I'm probably like I don't know, maybe intermediate, like maybe somewhere between beginner and intermediate at this point. So, but I was playing with advanced people and like holding my own.
Yeah.
So, it was
I would have put you between intermediate and advanced.
I wouldn't say I'm that good. Like those people they're really, really, really good. Like they're like every hit is like a whale in it. And they make no mistakes. And the only reason they lose a point is because the opponent gets like a great shot. I'm still like making occasional stupid mistakes. Just like hitting it out or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm like, I would say I'm probably intermediate at this point, but played again this morning. I love pickleball.
I love this for you.
It's my new favorite.
I would love to come back at a different time.
Not 6 a.m. I would be down to go multiple times a week.
Okay.
Actually, I did find a place up in Bellevue.
Oh.
That's another, and I've for their marketing is just like horrible. So
Yeah.
I like, you can't really find information about it.
Okay.
But I was able to like call them. I'm like, hey, I see you have pickleball courts. Like, what's the deal? Do
Yeah.
you open play? And they sent me a link to the schedule, and now I can see like,
oh, cool,
what the open play hours
Yeah.
are. So I'm gonna try going there like once a week, and then Tacoma once.
Okay.
a week.
There's
So,
also the Furcrest Community Center.
Okay.
They have pickleball courts that you can reserve indoors, and
Okay.
it's super cheap. I want to say
Nice.
like 3 courts you could get for an hour, and it's like $40 or something. So that's 12 people
nice.
splitting $40.
Yeah. it's not
Like,
bad.
yeah. So we should try that
I'd be
too.
down. I'll
Okay.
play. I can never get enough pickleball.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
literally 3 hours Saturday. I want to go again on Sunday, but I couldn't find any place that open play.
Yeah.
2 hours this morning. I'm like, I'm all in.
He's in.
That's my new thing. I actually might cancel my gym membership potentially and just focus on pickleball and then Ironman training.
I
for
mean,
this year.
not a bad concept, especially the Ironman training.
And I'm like really sore today, and I think what adds to that is that I also did a workout on Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I probably don't need to do that. Like, I'm moving my body enough doing other things that like extra workouts at the gym are probably just gonna like put me at greater risk of getting injured.
Sure.
So, but then there's something to be said of like cross training. So I'd be curious to hear Chad's thoughts on this.
I know. I still want to get him on the court.
So fun.
His left hand.
So did pickleball, went home, got teriyaki for dinner.
Yum.
Love teriyaki. And then watched a show called 0 Day. You heard of that?
Why do I feel like I have? What's it about?
It's
What's
a
it on?
It's Netflix.
Yeah.
It's like one of the Netflix original limited series. So it's
Okay.
like 6 episodes. I'm totally spacing on his name.
Okay.
The older guy in Meet the Parents and Meet the Fockers. You know what I'm talking about?
Robert De Niro?
Robert De Niro. I think it's Robert De Niro. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Robert De Niro.
Okay, wait. I'm looking up 0. Yeah.
That's Robert De Niro, right?
Yes.
The premise of the show is basically that's Robert De Niro? Yeah. There's like a mass in the United States. There's a like mass technology outage for 1 minute. And it ends up killing like thousands of people.
Oh, wow.
Because during that minute, like people in the hospital lost their stuff. Like planes went down. Like it's a crazy 1 minute. And then basically the whole series is them trying to figure out like who did it, like how it happened. Is it gonna happen again? All that stuff. So
interesting.
Very good.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched 5 episodes Saturday night.
did.
So I think I got home at 8. So I watched it from like 8 till midnight on Saturday, and then I finished this last episode Sunday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really fun, actually.
So that was my Saturday.
Okay.
A lot of pickleball.
Love it.
Showing TV.
0 Day.
Great
Good
Saturday.
balance, you know? Okay, so Sunday, wrapping up the weekend, we went back to church. Well, we had it in the morning. We had a little bit of downtime. We did, Chad and I did a partner workout together on Tonal, and we did our sauna session. And then we did go to church. And then from there, we kind of had a hectic thing. It was like, that was when Allie had her cheer clinic. So Allie had this cheer thing from 12 to 2. We had church starting at 12. Piper was supposed to be at a birthday party at 3. That got postponed. We're listing our duplex pretty soon. We're doing it. So Chad's like, I want to go and do a couple things for the landscaping. And so he was kind of at the duplex, at Home Depot, back and forth. I was on mom duty, so I was getting the girls from their different activities. Our friend May was with us, dropped her off. And then just kind of had a chill afternoon back and forth at home between our errands. And what was I? Oh, this is what I was going to say. What's funny is we had this amazing, family conference, and we like shared these beautiful letters. And the last day we're like praying over each other, and there's tears, and we're all emotional. Sunday afternoon, everybody's home. Mind you, Piper had a sleepover. Allie had done this cheer clinic, so everybody's a little tired. But we get home, we're like making lunch in the kitchen, and Piper had made a mess in the living room. So I was asking her to clean it up. And Allie, I guess, was in her way of cleaning. And it was like a full-blown fist fight breaks out. And Chad and I are just over here like, not 24 hours ago were we in this like setting, and we were all, kumbayaing it. And now our girls are literally blow to blow, and like we're just like laughing, which does not bode well. Like the girls don't like it when we laugh in those situations.
Oh yeah.
And then They don't find it funny.
Yeah.
So then it's, people were very mad and it just unkind things said, and everybody kind of disperses. And I just had this moment of like, I don't know. It can be very easy to just be complacent and be like, okay, everybody's done their own thing. I'm just going to leave it be.
Yeah.
It's another thing to be like, ugh, we have to talk about this. We have to like correct it. We have to think. One of the things that stuck with me from this parenting thing was correction without connection leads to rebellion.
Hold on. Correction without connection leads to rebellion. What does that mean?
So it's basically saying like correction, which is like, I feel like 90% of my job as a parent is like, you can, you can't, yes, no, that. But if I don't have a connecting element with them, like if it's just me saying no, 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 and not actually spending time with them, not actually developing a relationship and having these other moments of connecting with them, then most likely what's going to happen is they're just going to be rebellious and they're just going to be like, forget you. So there's an element of that connecting earns a right to kind of speak these correcting things.
Okay.
So that really stuck out to me, and I was like, nope, everybody come back. We need to have a conversation. So we kind of talked it out. Chad was, and it's also like, as hard as it is, like they're 10 and 13, like there's still consequences to your bad behavior. Like you don't get to yell, I hate you to each other. You don't get to fist fight and then just walk away. Like we're like, that is not okay. So we had like a break from technology, and it was funny because Piper ended up taking like a 3-hour nap. I was like, it's so indicative of we're just exhausted and she needed to sleep. So anyways, Sunday afternoon, all the emotions died down. I ran a couple errands. I got a new book from the library I'm excited about.
Nice.
And then Allie went back to church in the evening. Chad came back and we just did
went back to church again?
I'm telling you what.
For?
Youth group.
Oh, wow.
This child,
How far do you guys live from the school?
It's like a 10-minute drive.
Okay. You know that route really well by now.
Very well. I couldn't even tell you how many times I'm there, especially like, it's crazy. Anyways, but it was good. We just ended up at home in the evening. I'm trying to remember what we were doing. We did watch something. We were watching like more game showy things, like Celebrity Jeopardy, and there's one on Hulu called The Floor with Rob Lowe, and it's a little bit like, it's like you have these different topics and people have to go head to head naming whatever's on the screen. So for example, it was so sad. One gal, it was like pop music. And so they showed an artist and you'd have to be like Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, and she couldn't name one. And
artist? Oh my goodness.
And but it's like that. So it's like, and you have a countdown. So you have 30 seconds each and whatever. That's kind of a fun one.
Have you seen the video, the Billy on the Street video, where he goes up to this girl and he's like, name a woman. And she cannot think of a woman's name. She is totally like blank.
Couldn't do it. Never heard of that.
She's like, just one? He's like, one. And she's like, a woman? And she like cannot come up with a woman's name.
So much.
It's so
I feel like that's what we need to do next.
Yeah.
We need to take this to the streets.
I
100%. To be funny interviewing.
That would be great. Let's do it. Make a thing around Tacoma.
Come away. Anyways, Sunday was kind of a wrap up of everything. I can't even think of other stuff that we did.
Nice.
But yeah.
Every once in a while, Brian and I will be in a little argument, and I will start laughing, and
he loves it.
And it's never liked. But I'm like, we'll be fighting, and I'm like, and I'll just have this realization, like, this is so dumb.
Yes.
Like your cute little angry face, and so like, and I just started like giggling. And it's never received well.
Yeah.
So don't recommend that.
I did hear this thing. Have I shared this already about the emotional time travel?
No.
Have we talked about that? Okay. I was listening to, I think it was an audiobook or podcast, and he had this concept of emotional time travel. And so it's hard in the moment when all the emotions are real. But if you can take a pause and travel in time, quote unquote, and think, will this bother me in 2 hours? Will this bother me tomorrow? Will this, and like, how should I be reacting now? Is it really that big of a deal?
Right.
I thought that was a really interesting concept to just think ahead. And there are some things where it's like, this will, if I do not talk about it, this will really eat away at me.
Right.
There's other times where I'm like, I could probably, let's go.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better at that. Just like taking a step back.
Yeah.
How often are you and Chad getting in arguments?
Oof, you know what? I feel like we've actually been pretty good lately. But yeah, like, so, our MO that I can go like, this is embarrassing, but I can go days without speaking. I can be so hardcore and stubborn and just live life and not even act like I know he exists. So it's very unhealthy. I don't promote that at all. But really couldn't tell you the last time that happened. I think we've done really good about just trying to communicate better. I think we're both in healthier places all across the board than we have been in a while. So I think that really helps. So yeah, lately fights have been pretty minimal.
Good.
So
love to hear that.
Yeah. Quick to resolve if there is.
Nice.
So I'm also grateful for that. That's actually really encouraging. How about you guys? You guys don't fight. I can't even imagine.
Really? Yeah. We get into pretty heated arguments.
Over like, I just
stupid stuff. Always stupid. And it's usually, I mean, a lot of the time it's my fault. And we go through periods where we'll go like a few weeks and we're like golden, like no issues.
Yeah.
And then there's just like a week where it's like, we're just getting on each other's nerves.
That's real.
And it's like every day there's an argument about something. And it's like kind of ebbs and flows like that. So but I hate fighting. I hate it so much. It never like feels good afterwards. Neither of us ever feel like we want to fight. Like there's no winner. So it's like, let's not do it.
Yeah, it's tricky. And often I feel like those for us, when we get into those ruts where it's like every little thing feels sensitive, it's like, I feel like it's such a good opportunity if you can pause and be like, okay, something's happening. Usually there's another element to it. Like we're actually stressed about finances, or one of us is not having a cup fulfilled. Like whether that's like me, I'm feeling antisocial, or I'm feeling like I'm doing more introverted than extroverted, so I'm feeling like I'm missing out. For him, it could be the opposite. Like I haven't actually had alone time. I've only been giving, and I haven't like done something for myself. So often those are like underlying things that all the little nitpicky fights lead back to like something that's like, oh wait, this is actually what's bothering us. But I will say, for some reason, I want to get back to your Sunday. For some reason, the past few weekends, I don't know if it's because we've been so busy during the weeknights, I'm feeling like my weekends are getting less social. And I actually got anxious about it this weekend. I was like, I feel like I'm like missing out on some socialization. Is that the word? Socialization.
I think so. I think that's right.
Okay.
Socialization. I think you said it right, actually. I didn't mean to correct you. Sorry.
I was trying to say it, and then I was like, is that the word? Because I wanted to say socializing. And anyways, it doesn't matter. I am feeling a little bit like my weekdays are so busy that my weekends feel like a time to like rest. But if I rest, I just feel like I have to conserve energy, and then I don't want to do things socially. And I don't like that.
It's so true.
I'm like, I want to be with people and doing fun things, but I also want to be horizontal on my couch. How do I reconcile those two?
I don't know the answer to that. I had a similar the previous week before last was like very social. Like we had things with multiple friend groups and family, and it was like all 3 days of the weekend were social stuff. This weekend we went into not having any social plans, and I was like looking forward to that. And then come Saturday, Brian's hanging out with a friend, and I have no social plans, and I'm like, huh. Like, and I reached out to a few people that would normally I'd just make a last minute thing, but they were all busy. And a lot of the friends that we hang out with are more like couple friends. Like Brian and I hang out with them together. It's not really friends that I hang out with by myself. So I'm like, I've kind of like don't really have any friends I'm gonna hang out with tonight. So I'm like, what do I don't want to just go watch TV by myself like at home. So then pickleball was that was my backup. So that's the key.
Finding
hobbies you can do.
Go to pickleball.
Exactly. Okay, so Sunday.
Sunday for you.
Sunday, I had done the bike ride Friday, and I really wanted to get like all 3 of the things in this weekend. So I drove to my gym, and I did a 5-mile run, like kind of around that area. Which was nice. So my gym's kind of like downtown Renton. Close to the water. So most of the run was along the waterfront, which is awesome. Run felt good. And then I did a swim at the pool at the gym.
So if you don't join this gym anymore, where are you going to swim?
I belong to multiple gyms right now.
Oh, that's
so
right.
So I have LA Fitness literally just for the pool. And then my gym in Bellevue is the one that I do like classes and stuff at.
Okay.
So I would cancel that one, and I'd keep LA Fitness.
Got it. Okay.
So I did my swim, did a half-mile swim, which is 36 laps, and it was my very first swim ever with headphones. Have you done like laps in the pool before?
Honestly, I can't tell you the last time I like swam laps in the pool.
It's tedious and it's very repetitive, and it can be the biggest challenge for me isn't the physical element of it. It's just I get like kind of bored.
Yeah.
Like I just like
36 back and forth.
It's so many back and forths with no stimulation in my brain. I'm just like I end up just counting. Like that's what I'll do to distract myself is I'll count how many strokes it takes me to get from one side to the other. And I just do that over and over and over again. And I've purchased probably 3 pairs of waterproof headphones over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
None of them work. They all like end up, and they were all like on, cheaper side. So, but none of them work. They'll disconnect very easily. And then I was like, I need to invest. Like I'm going to be doing a lot of swimming this year. I'm going to invest in some nice waterproof headphones. Okay. They're like $200, which is a good chunk of change.
Get it.
But they actually work, which is great. So what I realized is that Bluetooth, for whatever reason, doesn't work in the water. So what these headphones use, there's like a Bluetooth setting, so you can use like normal, and then there's an MP3 setting where you basically like load songs onto the headphones. So it's kind of a pain, but I basically plugged my headphones into the computer. I downloaded audio files onto my computer, and then I transfer them over onto the headphones.
And this is music, or are you listening to podcast?
Music. So podcasts don't really work. You can only, I mean, you could. You just have to like every time you want to do a podcast, you'd have to go to your computer, download it up. It'd be a pain. So I basically have you heard of the Big Booty mixes?
No, but I'm excited to listen to them now.
They're great. There's like, it's an artist called Two Friends, and they put out every year, I think, an hour-long mashup of songs called like a Big Booty mix. There's been like 25 of them. Yeah, and they're great.
Is it like specifically for working out? Is that like the theme?
They're for working out, or they're for a party, or whatever. It's all like kind of it's like a combination of the most recent pop songs that have been popular, and then like older songs. That it's a really, you should check them out.
I will.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's good. Just like if you don't want to have to worry about what you're listening to, it's just like you put it on, it's an hour long. And it transitions to a new song like every 30 seconds. So it's
Big Booty mix.
Very good. Highly recommend it.
Got it.
So very first swim with music, and it was awesome.
Good.
I feel like it's going to make a big difference for
That's awesome. I'm excited for you.
And then went home, walked Stevie.
Did you guys go to the dog park?
We did not go to the dog park. We were going to, we were like, I don't know, it was kind of wet out.
I know. It started pouring yesterday afternoon.
And then no big wedding updates for today, but we are going to Palm Springs next weekend.
Oh, okay.
So we're leaving Saturday morning, and then we're coming back Tuesday night. So we'll be there for 3 nights. And we have, I think, 7 hotels we are going to tour over there.
So the place that you have signed the contract for, just in limbo still?
He ghosted me. I texted him on Tuesday. I texted him again on Thursday. I sent him an email. No responses within the last week.
Okay.
So I'm not banking on that place at all. If he got back to me and is like, I can guarantee you we'll be able to get the permits and we're like good to move forward, I think we'd still be down to do it. But just like there's so many unknowns at this point with that one's, and he's just unresponsive. So we're going back to the drawing board. We have I think 7 hotels we're touring this weekend, which is going to be great. And I think we have some good options. So.
Just you two going? Your parents going? Okay.
Yeah. We're staying downtown Palm Springs. We're actually staying at one of the hotels that we are considering.
I love it.
So hopefully that's kind of our number 1 pick. So we're hoping it's good.
Nice.
And then later in the night we did sauna, cold plunge.
Yeah. Got the cold plunge up and running.
I actually sat in it for a good 3 minutes.
What?
Which was big for me.
Well
done. It was
done.
at 47 degrees. So the sauna was at 200. I think I did 10 minutes in the sauna, 2 minutes in the cold plunge, 10 minutes in the sauna, 1 minute in the cold plunge.
Nice.
So
That's great.
Yeah.
We did the sauna. We were like, Chad was like, we try to get an average of 60 minutes a week. Nice. So he was like, I need to get, I think we had to do 35 minutes. So we did 20 and then we just dipped in the pool, like just enough to get submerged so that when you go back in, there's that tingly feeling, and then we could get through that next 15. But yeah, it's
so cold. Brian will dunk after. I'm not dunking yet. I'm just getting up to my.
Oh,
chest.
Okay. There is something different about with your head. Like I
it's
will
just hard with this. Not even like it's like
with the
difficult
actual
with this tub to get your head underneath.
Yes. Okay.
Brian has a whole thing where he like sticks his feet up. And like grabs the back of it and like dunks that way, but it like physically is difficult to do.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
I need to get better.
Okay, so it's also mentally hard to do.
Yes, both.
I hate
physically and mentally.
I hate it.
Yeah, and I was on my feet a lot this weekend between bike ride, run, pickleball for 3 hours. So my feet were like killing me during the cold plunge, which was probably good. Like it was probably helping. Yeah. But the rest of my body was numb, and my feet were like freezing cold. Like,
Yeah.
it felt like they were gonna fall off.
Yeah.
Not
That's
the best.
good.
And then watched White Lotus yesterday evening.
Okay. How's it going?
It's good. I really like this last episode.
Okay.
I think it was 4th episode. It's starting to. I think the way the show goes is is a slow progression.
Yeah.
You get to know the characters.
Sure.
We're at episode 4, and it's like starting to heat up. They did the promo for next week, and I can tell it's going to be like a big episode. This
is all new cast, or is there similar?
There's mostly a new cast every year.
Okay.
There's kind of like seasons 1 and 2 had one character that were in both.
Right.
What's her name?
Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge was in both seasons. This 3rd season has 2 people that were in the 1st season.
Oh,
so it's kind of like there's 1 or 2 characters that are
yeah.
But
I thought the last season ended with like potentially they could just play off of that ending of season 2.
Oh, interesting.
There could have been more that happened there.
Yeah. Well, there's stuff that's related to the end of season 2 happening in season 3.
Got it.
So there's like it's mostly a standalone season, but there's a little bit of like connection between seasons. So,
okay.
That was my Sunday.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Good weekend.
So no wedding updates.
No wedding updates.
Yet to go to the Red Box.
That's okay.
I keep meaning to.
You have 2 weeks because I'll be gone next Monday.
Okay.
So we'll skip a week.
All right.
As
friends, I know you're used to us every week, but
2 weeks from today.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks,
Sounds
Jamie.
good.
Happy Monday.
See you later.
See ya.